Hiya. It's Joey Reynolds again on my porch. And I'm sitting here with my long sleeves. I guess it's the beginning of fall. Yeah, well, I know it is. But they say it's going to be a warmer year this year, and that's all they talk about on the television is the weather. I mean, come on. And what did we used to say years ago? You can't do anything about it. And people focus on it. They want to watch all this play-by-play like it's a national sport to see the band that is moving across, the band of rain, and the tornadoes and the hurricanes. And oh my God, I never thought that we were going to be in the weather business, but that's it. The newsrooms that they have on television, the most important part of the news is the weather. That's what they do. When they hire somebody and they hire a weatherman, they pay them hundreds of thousands of dollars. We have a woman down here who's a tall black woman called Betty Davis. No relation to the movie star. So Betty Davis does the weather. And Betty Davis this morning, she said, I have nothing really to say about what's going to happen today, but I have a good idea that it's going to rain a little bit. And I thought, oh, that's a good weather forecast. Yeah, let me just go get my fishing gear on and go out on the ocean and take Betty Davis's weather forecast with me and stuff it. We have another guy. Who is it? Brian Norcross for the Hurricanes. He's famous. I lived during the Hurricane Caroline, and I was on the air at WQAM in Miami. It was the only station in the whole city of radio or TV that had a generator. I take that back. The TV had generators, but the radio didn't. And so on our station, what we did was we loaned them our stuff, our programming, at 10 o'clock in the morning after I got off the air on the morning show. There was a young lady named Cheryl Simone, so you could bear up on this story. She went to WINS in New York after that. But we lived during the hurricane. We didn't see it coming, and we were the 2 in the morning, and nobody could get in or out of the station, and we were learning about a brand new word called FEMA. Didn't know what that was, because that wasn't here yet. Or was that Hurricane Andrew I was on? I don't know. One of them. There's been so many of them now. We got rid of the Greek alphabet, and we're working back on the American alphabet to name them after American tragedies. It's what they ought to really be named after. But we give them polite names, nice names. They're gentle names for violent behavior. The hurricanes are set up by the warm water in the ocean. When it's warmer the water, the better the chance. What did Casey used to say? The warmer the water, the better the chance. He didn't say that, but he should have. So we have a different kind of a world that we live in right now. We live in a world of information, and I'm an infomaniac. You can't get enough of the celebrity stuff. I mean, can you imagine that how terrible it would be if you were in a movie and you're using a gun that's got blanks in it, but you shot somebody because it had real bullets? I mean, who made that mistake? Who made that judgment call? And then shooting one of your best friends who's a cinematographer. Of course, that's what happened with Alec Baldwin. He's a very good guy and a good actor, and he was devastated, that he's playing a role and he uses the gun and it was loaded. Wow. I mean, who would ever do that? That sounds like a thing from a horror movie, that a setup for Halloween or one of those movies where someone is on the movie set and the villain in the play puts a real bullet in there and they kill the person. It sounds like a movie. It's a movie about a movie, and yet we sit and we worship these stars, because they're not real. They're not real. It's called show business because most of it is a show. These days it's a business of show because most of it is business. But this is the way it is, and everybody's so anxious to have what we had before, and they're anxious. Am I moving my hands like David Muir? Am I doing I got on my news story and I moved my hand like this. He moves one. What does he move? This hand? How did he get so popular? You know what he did? Nothing. He just sat there and read the news. And they did it faster, and they did it like Top 40 radio, which we used to do. We always had the most exciting news. CKLW in Detroit. In Buffalo, we had the, what do they call that news? It was called Eyewitness News, right? That's on television. But on radio, we had this great formula where we had 2020 news. That's what it was. And boy, did we go with it. You know, we made up these stories. I think in Buffalo, I remember Irv Weinstein said he opened the story after playing a benign record, you know, which the disc jockeys did, and then we go into the news, and he says, the black flag of death has flown over Cheektowaga. I mean, no, all of a sudden you're sitting back on your radio and stopping the car. What do you mean? What black flag of death? What happened? But it was exciting. You know, we created things. We had contests. We had a contest if you could get your animal to talk and say, if you could get your dog or your cat or any one of your animals to say, even a parrot, if you could get your animal to say KB, which is WKBW, you would win $10,000. You know, there was a line all the way from Buffalo to Ontario, Canada. People who had their pets, and my favorite one was a woman with a dog, or it was a cat. She had a cat, and she says, "Go ahead, say it, goddammit, you did it at home. Say KB, you did it at home." I said, wait a minute. People want their pets to say things like that. I don't know. I listen. All I know is I've had a great life, and it's not over. And everybody in it has been so thrilling. You know, I mean, whether it's Les Paul, who was one of my best friends, or Sid Bernstein, who brought the Beatles here, the others, you know, Joan Rivers, Soupy Sales, these are all friends, and they're all gone. And I'm the last one standing in that entertainment medium of radio, and they don't do this anymore anyway. So we need to start disc jockeying again, or jockeying. We need to jockey into position and build a farm team. We need the same thing that they do when they have a baseball or a football team. You know, you start with the good players somewhere and you develop them, but not amateurs. These are pros. We're looking for pros. I mean, if we have to sit down and visit Adele again, and we have to go through all of that, that's a made-up thing. You know, it's owned by CBS. Oprah's going to interview her. It's made up. It's promotion. She's good. She does a good job. I mean, you know, and, there's a lot of good singers, but we're looking for that Elvis. We haven't let go. We don't believe that Elvis died. We don't want him to have died because we want to keep that going. Of course, a lot of people don't want Hitler to have died. So, you know, there's things that we hold on to because they were such big moments in our lives, like my marriage. I got a divorce, you know, and it was a big deal to get married, and also a big deal to have a divorce. My goodness. I mean, you know, when she left, I lost my best friend. She took the dog. So anyway, we gotta get out of here now. It's a Reynolds wrap, and I've done enough damage for 2 people. And I miss Jay Sorensen. He used to sit next to me on the radio and television show we did. Of course, you know, I'm still doing what they used to do during the pandemic, which was to sit here and talk to yourself with one camera and no big production. But I'm used to it now. You know, now at this point in time, I just take my tapes and go home and smoke a fat one and watch them. No, I'm just joking. I like what I'm doing here. You know, I think I don't even care if you like it. I really don't. You know, you got to do something that pleases yourself, because there's no way that you're going to be able to jump into this society and make everybody happy. No way. I think taking the time to figure out what I'm here for, what I do real well, and how I enjoy it, and then see if someone will let me do it. That's the other thing. You know, fortunately, the technology allows me to do this. If we didn't have this technology, then I would be on the farm with the farm team. We had radio towers. That's what used to serve the community, and television towers. Now, of course, everything's on the internet, and we're streaming and screaming and paying subscriptions, and they got us good. You know, they really jerked us into this. The business of sending all of our kids to business schools like Harvard and the Wharton School, and to wherever we have sent them in my generation, they all learned how to make money first. And they will squeeze a dime out of a penny, and that's what they know how to do, and that's what they do here. I mean, you know, with our electronics, they've taken the graduates of those business courses have figured out a way to make a lot of money in different areas that you never would have thought of. We never would have thought that you're going to have a subdivision of television where you actually would pay for something besides paying the premium for a movie, which we kind of got used to that. But this is the whole stream of it now. Now it's a stream of consciousness or unconsciousness. The American public has been hoodwinked into this. We've been fooled into many commercials. Here's a good question. Why do we have so many commercials on a half-hour news show? Why don't we just have one sponsor? And why do they have all pharmaceuticals that we don't even use, that know about or care about? We have to learn these names. They come up as soon as you get that disease, then you learn about it. And then you know what it is. But what is this HMOs and PPDs and PPOs and POs and everything in this Medicare thing? When you get a little older, they say, okay, now you have to pay for your secondary carrier because you have Medicare, but the secondary is going to cost you $250 a month. Go through ARP and United Care, and you can be covered for any hospitalization, any doctor you want in the country. But if you're in Florida for radio and TV here, or rather for Florida residency, if you live in Florida in these two counties of Dade and Broward counties, you don't have to pay for a secondary. It's absolutely, totally free. But you have to go to a doctor that they assign. You know, I mean, unfortunately, I have Dr. Feinstein, or no, Frankenstein. That's what that's I got. What other doctor I have? Kevorkian, the one that puts you to sleep. Of course, this whole tape probably puts you to sleep. I mean, this digital performance it's not a tape. And you know, you pay for a digital performance. Or a tape, you just wipe your nose with, you know, put it on a package. So that's it. I mean, so far, you know, you got nothing out of me today because I'm sitting here babbling. And the reason that I'm babbling is because there's no news. How about that? You know, we're into the celebrity call. Now we've got to talk about things that are very unhappy. I want to have some fun. I want to laugh a little bit. Don't you? Am I wiping my nose with my finger? That's the finger fantasy that was created by Les Paul. We'll talk about that another time. It's a Reynolds wrap.